Mono black, mono black, mid-range versus Initiate Kagetsu. Okay, we have one swamp, which is enough to get me into turn 2. Hopefully I'll find another one before we get to turn 3. Alright. Okay, well, we'll take the Thoughtseize for sure. Everything else doesn't make any sense. And the Graveyard Trespasser might be good. Okay, that's... I have the Go for the Throat for the Grease Fang. I need to be sure when we get to that point in the game. So, should I do they... I'm gonna do this now. Because if they play Greasefang now, there's nothing to... there's nothing they can get back in the same turn. And... yeah. Having a Trespasser and a Go for the Throat, I think is enough to give the opponent enough of a hard time. So that Duress was actually pretty strong there, taking out the Thoughtseize, because their Thoughtseize would have taken my Trespasser. Now, they would have still had to deal with the Go for the Throat, but that would have been a little bit easier than also having to deal with the Trespasser. And the Trespasser is also a good clock. So, alright, well, that was a very quick win, but we have managed to find just the right tools to disrupt the opponent's hand well enough. On to the next game with Mono Black mid-range. Mono Black mid-range versus the ambitious Aeneas. Yeah, this is a little slower, but this can work. Oh, that's gonna make it things much more difficult. And this turn 2 is gonna hurt exceptionally. Question is, 2 creatures is even worse here. Let's go into full control. So they... okay. Now, the Edict ain't gonna do much, so I'm gonna have to do the Aetherborn. Because the Edict, they can just pick whichever they want to sacrifice. Okay, there's... gonna block the hero. Yeah, and now things are gonna go hurt a lot. Oh, you... okay. Yeah, this is... alright, well, at least they didn't trample over. So, wow. Being at... oh, well, I'm still gonna take 5. And I'm still so far away from deadly cover-up, so... let's see what pump... well, if, if the opponent has... how many more pump spells they have available to them. Alright, let's see what they do. What happens first. So this is targeting this one, and that's targeting that one. So I need to kill something in response. Doesn't really matter which one. If they have another pump spell, I'm just dead anyway. Yeah, okay. Alright, good game. That just... I don't think I could have made it through that one in any way. They just had a good mix of creatures, leyline, and pump. So, alright, yeah. Sometimes you just can't beat the leyline. You can't beat the leyline. Alright, but... we can keep trying, right? On to the next game. Mono Black. Midrange versus the ambitious little one in the flask. We have 3 Alright, well, we do love an annex, but do we love 3 annexes? Against a Yorion. What are we gonna go for? Now, I know they... okay, let's start with the Aetherborn. Ah, well, I'm glad I played the Aetherborn. Yep, alright. Well, that was good for them, but I need to... yeah, I need to get all their counters out and not give them a chance to... okay, going for Yorion. Well, then I'm immediately gonna drop this. Why did they activate the Yorion there? They can march it, yeah, sure. Wow. All right. They can still have Get Lost as well. So, I mean, they do have a lot of answers to these annexes. But, okay, well, now I'm just going to take full value out of the annex and make this demon as soon as I can. Sure, the Emperor, that's fine.
Anyone who harms my people must contend with me. I am almost sad to see you go.
Now, we are up against Azorius Control with 5 mana available, right? So... well, here goes my demon. So that was a 1-to-1 answer to the demon. Alright, end of turn. I'm just gonna eat that. And now I'm just gonna play a Liliana into a Graveyard Trespasser.
This fight finished before brunch.
Don't really matter what I exile here.
I'm tired of your secrets.
Yeah, that's fine. Okay, opponent has 3 more cards left in hand. They can flicker the lockdown, but that's not doing anything. I can keep activating my Mutavault to get the drain. I can keep ticking up my Liliana. And I will keep drawing additional card each turn. Okay, so they're putting that right there. They decide to destroy the Liliana here. I'll take it. Do I want to play another Annex here? Like, they could have Farewell. That's the only real card I can think of that could harm me if I do that. So let's not get over greedy here. Opponent's at 9. Next turn I'll deal 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Well, and if I play the Annex, then it'll be... Yeah, then I will get over. Alright, they're digging. I think they're not in a good spot, so... I think this could work out. Destroy all creatures, sure. Should we duress? Yeah. Only a lockdown. Not ideal, but fine. One's down to 3. We also have the cover up, so I can actually go ahead and pick. Yeah. All right. So 3 Unholy Annexes was the right keep here, against Azorius control. That card advantage just took over way too hard. I constantly had threats available in multiple Trespassers, Aetherborns, the Sheoldred, the Mutavault really did a great job. So one of the annexes made it the demon. So yeah, it was just too many threats from different angles. The Liliana as well. So yeah. That was just too much to handle for the Azorius control deck. Nice. All right. On to the next game with Mono Red. Mono Red Midrange. Imagine that will ever be a deck. I don't think so. But Mono Black Midrange surely is. Mono Black Midrange versus the Virtuous Jat 2010. Yes. Yes, this looks like a keep. All right. They have 2 creatures. I don't like this one. Because this one, if it's in the graveyard, it actually gives them a kind of a small benefit. And this one is the one which gives them a creature when a creature dies. So, alright, go for... Oh, okay, yeah. They're going to play the Scamp. I'm going to kill it with Go for the Throat. And then the next creature they play, I'm going to use the Murderous Rider. Which is going to be the show off. Now, the question is, do they plot it? If they plot it, I think that would... I think they would be better off plotting it. Yeah, that was the right choice from them. I'm gonna keep up the Rider. And only kill in response. Okay, perfect. Good. Now they're gonna use some of those, one of these, you know, great, yeah, I expected that, but at least they didn't, they're not making use of any pump here. So they will get a creature. Which one do I play? Probably just the Rider here. Let's just play the Rider. And use it as a chump blocker. Chump blocking and gain a little bit of life, ideally. Sure. Oh, trample. That thing gives trample too, huh? Definitely blocking here. Yep, okay. So again, turning inside out. So they do get another creature. However, they are down to just a few cards left. Let's go with the Trespasser. I feel pretty confident here at the moment. Again, gaining a little bit of, every little bit of life helps, and having a chump blocker here. Every time I force the opponent to pump their creature to get through mine is good in my book. It's a decent power toughness to soak up a little bit of damage. Until I find more just spot removal spells, which can then... Oh, okay. Yeah, not too bad. Oh, but it didn't die, which is actually good for me. Just Sheoldred or the Aetherborn here. Let's just go Sheoldred. However, that Heartfire hero is quite dangerous. But again, Sheoldred can soak up quite a bit of damage. Yeah. So, okay, still getting, yeah, taking 6 here. But finally, the board is empty now. Let's see what the final card in the opponent's hand is. And here we go, and I'm just gonna make a demon. Yeah, alright. Because next turn I would start gaining life with the Annex. So yeah, I mean, it's not easy. And I was lucky that I was on the play. But yeah, the Duress took one of their pump plus create a creature when it dies spells. Go for the throat, took out a creature. And then I had good blockers, which also gained me a little bit of life here and there. And the Murderous Rider, of course, which was shuffled back under the library, also doing an amazing job there. So, yeah, just barely able to keep toe-to-toe with mono red, and then, you know, taking over the game here on turn 5 with a 6/6 demon with an Annex ready to activate the life gain and card draw part of the card. All right, nice. Another victory for Mono Black Midrange. On to today's final game of today's run. Mono Black Midrange versus Genvinsis. Yep, this can work. I'd like one more swamp, but we'll see. Turn 1 Duress always feels pretty good. Oh, and it's again another red deck. They have no more pump spells at the moment. How am I gonna handle this? Do I want to already use the go? I don't really want to, but I feel like I have to also. Yeah, I'm gonna be mana efficient here. Especially this scamp, like that thing and the Valiant Hero can be so dangerous. Oh, that was good. Can I afford to play an Annex here? Honestly, I think I have to take that risk here. Because I need to find lands and more stuff. Okay. I think that was the right play. But we'll see now, right now. The reason I did it is because I know meant there wasn't too many pump spells in their hand at them to begin with, so I felt pretty confident there. And I think it might have been the right choice. Yeah, only taking 2 here. That's already a very good sign for me. Just keep up Go for the Throat here, I would say. And activate the Vault. Yeah. Attack with it even. And then, yeah, I won't even lose life here to my Annex. And I go for the Throat whichever creature they try to pump. Exactly. Exactly that one. In this exact moment. And next turn I can just make a 6/6 demon. And that's what I'm gonna do. So wow, yeah, mono black midrange seems to be able to deal with mono red somewhat not favorably, but you know, not super unfavorably either, I would say. Yeah, that 6/6 is just gonna be too tough to get through. The thing is with mono red, you can, like, Duress helps very much in that matchup, I must say. Thoughtseize not so much, but Duress, unless you whiff completely, Duress takes out one of the pump spells and you get to see their hand constellation. You will already know, are they creature heavy, are they pump heavy? Here I saw that they're pump, you know, low on pump spells. And then with mono red, you know, once their hand dwindles down to like 2 cards or even less, then you already know what's the maximum damage they can be doing. So yeah, and you always want to kill their creatures in response to them pumping, not the other way around. Yeah, but all right, there you have it. 4-1 mono black midrange, still kicking it, annexing it around, mutavaulting, and thought seizing. Let's go head over to the recap. Okie dokie. Mono black midrange. So the deck doesn't really change too much. But there's always a few small things that you can switch around. Let's go to the core first. Unholy Annex, definitely a 4 of. This is your card. This is pure card advantage, and it is, and not only, you know, with the Mutavault especially, which just works so well with the Annex, as well as just the demon you can create with the Ritual Chamber as well, is just amazing life gain. If you don't have a demon, Sheoldred can also kind of at least mitigate the damage you take, because you will at least not lose life. You will regain 2 life from drawing a card, so you will, you know, you're not losing life. You have Aetherborn with lifelink, which can also mitigate the damage. So you don't really need everything to be a demon. But usually, yeah, the Ritual Chamber in on itself or the Mutavault can already be enough. Or other than that, what do you have? You have 4 Fatal Pushes, 4 Go for the Throats. Just, you know, this is one of the few decks in the current meta which actually runs a lot of spot removal, which is, yeah, you know, a lot of decks kind of take advantage of people not having spot removal around. Also, the Fatal Push can be activated using the Demolition Field, so that's an interaction that you definitely need to be, you know, prepared for. Don't use your Demolition Field too proactively. You know, you may need it for Fatal Push, because that's one of the few ways to activate the Revolt. Of course, Thoughtseize and Duress also just amazing at picking out the opponent's hand. Gifted Aetherborn, not really a value card, but just a 2-mana 2/3, which can act as a threat. But most importantly, it's, yeah, Death Touch Lifelink is just a good combination. It, you know, it keeps your life total in a more manageable range. Can also be a removal spell. The Edict is your form of kind of dealing with unexpected stuff. Also Planeswalkers. The Murderous Rider can also deal with Planeswalkers, which is important. Graveyard Trespasser is a good threat. It's, if they spot removal it, it's a 2-for-1 and it deals with graveyard stuff. So it's your answer to anything that's graveyard, like Greasefang, for example. The Hive of the Eye Tyrant can do that too, and also act as an additional threat. What this version runs as well, Liliana, always just an amazing card as well to have around. Just keep ticking her up, you know, dwindle down the opponent's hand. Especially if you have an Annex already on the field, then that's even more even stronger. Also just the opponent sacrificing a creature, acting as removal is also amazing. Now, what this deck has in addition is 1 Deadly Cover-Up, and I think that's a good card to have, because it can deal with creatures. If your spot removal wasn't able to, you know, take care of things, then the Deadly Cover-Up is there as a backup option, for example, against like Selesnya Auras or maybe Angels, where the opponent's board may have already gone too wide. But also, it can deal also with some graveyard stuff. So against some potential decks, you know, removing a specific card from the graveyard and then removing all copies it from their deck and hand will just win you the game potentially immediately. So yeah, there you have it. I love the Urborg as well. It just makes these colorless lands, you know, produce black, which sometimes can be relevant. And it's just like, why not add it, you know? There's no reason not to add the single Urborg here. There's absolutely no downside to it, and it's just such a cool card. It has such flavor. The effect isn't super amazing, huge, but if you have an Urborg and a Mutavault on turn like 1 and 2, and then you can still play the Aetherborn, for example, or on turn 3 you have a Urborg and a Mutavault and a Demolition Field, you can still play the Rider. So there's some niche opportunities to make use of that card. So what does it say? Yawgmoth's corpse is a wound in the universe. His foul blood seeps out, infecting the land with his final curse. Lord Windgrace. And with that note, as usual, thanks for watching. Have fun. See you in the arena, and peace.